Welcome to the Bradshaw Boys, a podcast where three guys are watching romantic comedies. I'm Cory Cavin.
My name's Jon Sieber.
And whoa. Thanks for telling me I'm hot.
Yeah, I got you.
We got no Kevin today.
Yeah.
But we do have the
Kevin's
third.
dead to us.
Kevin is dead to us. He's still alive, but he's dead to us.
Mm-hmm. Just like Wesley is right now. Oh
no.
Spoiler.
Not a spoiler if you listen to our last pod on The Princess Bride.
No, he's dead. Wesley's currently dead.
He's currently dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Currently dead. Inigo Montoya and Andre the Giant. What's Andre the Giant's character's name? Fezzik.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant is Fezzik. And they're standing over his body. He got throttled to death. Yeah. Wesley got throttled to death by the water wheel that sucks your head.
Yeah, the machine. It's like it takes your soul or does something like that.
Totally.
Yeah, this is the third installment of The Princess Bride.
You know, we talked about this on our 10 Things I Hate About You pod. And I don't know if that particular discussion is out yet, but we had talked about it with
I'm raising the height of my mic stand.
It's funny, I wish I could lower mine. We talked about whether 10 Things I Hate About You was a rom-com, and we decided it was more of a teen movie.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a rom-com, Princess Bride? Here's the thing.
I said yes last time, but after our discussion, I think this is a fantasy family romantic comedy movie.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to there's not like a blanket logic statement I can make about all movies are this, but not all are this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it has rom and it has com. I don't think this should be in the Bradshaw Boys Dewey Decimal System as a rom-com.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's okay. We're still watching it. It's part of movie club.
And
I think everyone should have this on their repertoire.
Absolutely.
Of movies they've seen. You know, like when you're out on a date with someone and you're like, have you seen this? Yeah. Like this needs to be one of the 50 movies that you need to see if you want to be a 30-year-old in this country.
Yeah, that's true. You should have to see this in order to turn 30.
Yeah.
It's like when I graduated from college, they used to make everyone have to pass a swim test.
Yeah.
At my school. You had to pass a swim test in order to graduate in college.
Really?
Yeah, I just had this discussion with someone and I found out the history behind it.
Is this in North Kakalaka only?
This is not only in North Carolina. It was only at my school only at UNC. You had to, up until 2006, you had to pass a swim test in order to get your degree. And the legend was that there was a family.
The legend of University of North Carolina.
Swim test. The legend was that there was a family who their son was going to graduate and he drowned. And so they gave a bunch of money to the university and they were like, everyone that has to graduate, everyone's going to graduate needs to pass a swim test. But then I found out that legend is a lie.
What?
And I believed it for a very long time. And I told someone and they were like, I heard that. And I was talking to my physical therapist and I told her, yeah, they're sitting there working on your knee. And she was like, you're never going to believe this. I had another client. He also went to your school. We were talking about the swim test thing you told me, which I thought was insane. And then he told me that's a lie. So I did some research and the research said that back in the the 40s, 50s, 60s, post-World War II, they trained a bunch of people. Maybe it was like the 60s. They had a training unit there. I think George Bush Sr. also trained there for National Guard or something. And presidential physical fitness was a big thing. So they put the physical fitness into the school's curriculum and they had a huge thing for school physical fitness requirements in order. They were like, since we started that here and we were trained in the military and we want to be all about fitness, that's now part of the school curriculum in order to have to graduate.
Holy shit. You came here for movie talk and Cory's dropping these motherfucking UNC swim test facts all over you. It's like you're listening to an episode of something that makes you smart.
That's right. It's like you're listening to an episode of Tar Heel Talk.
Yeah, this is like Radio Lab. Except
Jon, did you ever wonder about swim test and where it came from?
Splish, splash, splish.
So yeah, there's always some music. It's like ding, 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 ding. I don't know where that would be on the soundboard. Hey, welcome to Radio Lab. You know how to swim? Anyway, so yeah, that's that requirement. But I think that Princess Bride would be a requirement to become a 30-year-old because it's great and you can watch it with anyone and you can watch it with kids and you can watch it with adults. I think it's a great date movie.
Yeah, and there's movies that are like in the cultural zeitgeist. Like if someone says Inconceivable, you're going to want to know where that's from.
And and if you say Inconceivable, like you could say it at like a work meeting or whatever. I guess you'd be like the funny person at work, but someone will know. Someone will know what you're saying.
That's some free advice right there.
If you want to be the funny person at work, someone bring someone to the meeting, just go, that's inconceivable.
Yeah.
And then say it again and people know
that right there is a free nugget of advice. Cory Cavin, writer, director, actor, comedian. You want to be the funny person at work? Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Middle of a Zoom meeting, someone says that, just start under your breath. You're like, that's inconceivable. And then later be like, that's inconceivable. As people know what you're doing. But then if they get on board, third time before the meeting's over, you just go, that's inconceivable. And then everyone laughs and you're like, all right, guys, we'll see you later. Thanks a bunch. All right, guys, I'm going to end the meeting.
Here's like the kicker. The next meeting you come in, don't have your camera on, just have a picture of Wallace Shawn. And then you've officially become a workplace funny man.
That would be a fun week at work. It really would.
And then you just keep going. Every single screensaver is a different cast member of Princess Bride.
Totally. Yeah. And then when you're at one of your return to office days, if you find the same group of people, you show up with some snacks and you just walk up and they're like, all right, guys, you want to, hey, welcome back to the office. We going to do this meeting. You're like, I brought some snacks. Anybody want a peanut? Bring it out.
So a sixth finger on your glove.
Sixth finger on your hand.
So much. This movie is not just saying marriage. Okay.
No. But if someone's go to a wedding weekend, you're like, did you put in your PTO? Why are you going to a wedding to experience some marriage?
I feel like Michael Scott does like quotes.
I think he does. Totally.
Which is so perfect.
Here's a good one. At a happy hour, put a tasteless, odorless powder, poison your boss.
Hang out with Bill Cosby.
Really take it to another level. He also dosed people, and it was very wrong.
Inconceivable.
It was inconceivable that he did that. Absolutely.
No, I'm excited. I love watching movies that I've watched before. There's something really like nostalgic about seeing a movie that you're very familiar with. And just like I'm really excited for the end of this movie because I'm gonna read an interview that Mandy Patinkin did before or after during sometime in his life about his character that I think is really interesting.
You're going to read it on the podcast?
Yeah, after we get back. And I'm really excited to watch the scene that in which he discusses it. It's the scene at the end of the movie. So make sure to watch that and remember that one.
Can't wait.
It's with no spoilers.
Cool. Well, with that said, Wesley's dead. But what's going on with Buttercup? She's about to get forced to get married. She's having weird dreams about getting married.
Gonna be forced to get married to Humperdinck. Humperdinck is gonna kill Buttercup to incite a war. And the Fezzik and Inigo are looking for the Man in Black. They don't know it's Wesley yet. They just know him as the Great Pirate or the Man in Black.
Right.
They want to find him. I forgot their reasoning for wanting to find him.
Is it because he beat them in a sword fight?
Yeah, and he'll know what to do. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
He beat Fezzik in strength, and he beat Inigo Montoya in a sword fight.
One question: does Inigo Montoya know that Christopher Guest's character is the six-fingered man?
No,
but Wesley does know that.
Wesley does know that.
So if Wesley wakes up, he can tell them
that. He could feasibly tell him that. Yeah.
Cool.
Inigo's been looking for the Six Finger Man.
Yep. He has. Okay. I think we're pretty well caught up.
We're well caught up. We're ready to go. Yeah. The intro to this episode was like just a free playbook and as to how to be the Office funny man. If we think of any other stuff, we'll make sure to drop those hot tips in the next episode or the next part.
You know, if you want to be the Office funny person, but you also just want to give people some random trivia, tell them the thing about how my school used to require a swim test.
It's crazy that you told that to your physical therapist and then your physical therapist, based on you telling her that, told another client. Like you may have been responsible for like a lot of conversation fodder for that person.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that I did that. No, but you're right. It is pretty wild that she's like, you're never gonna believe that I was telling that. And one of my other clients
and then he came back to you. It's just like, it's this really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a small world.
It's a small world.
After all.
All right. We're about 30 minutes left. We'll see you on the other side. Katie, take us away.
The Princess Bride, directed by Rob Reiner. A fairy tale adventure about a beautiful young woman and her one true love. He must find her after a long separation and save her. They must battle the evils of the mythical kingdom of Florin to be reunited with each other. Based on the William Goldman novel, The Princess Bride, which earned its own loyal audience. And now, back to the boys.
Yo!
Well,
inconceivable. So funny. We finished the movie and we immediately turned on the home movie on YouTube. It's so fun.
Tell everybody what the home movie is again, because we talked about it in one of the episodes.
The home movie happened during COVID where individual actors filmed themselves doing scenes of the movie for charity. Mm-hmm. And it just has like everyone in it. Like the last scene we just saw had all the characters from The Office.
Plus Jack Black.
There's a great Hugh Jackman in there.
Really good Nick Kroll. Really good
Jason Segel and Rainn Wilson.
Rainn Wilson and Jason Segel's so good.
So just like it's really fun, and they do the whole movie. So
that's crazy.
If you are a bridehead, check out the home movie. It's very fun, and there's like a bunch of treats in there.
Little treats. Yeah. A lot of Lego, a lot of good Lego stuff for the action scenes.
Yeah.
Very cool.
But here's what I wanted to start it off. Well, the movie ends. We should do a quick recap.
Yeah. So Wesley, is he dead?
He's mostly dead.
Mostly dead.
They take him to Miracle Max,
who is played by
Billy Crystal.
Yep.
Legendary scene, super fun scene.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because when we were watching it, you're like, I thought that scene was a lot longer.
It's
pretty short.
Yeah. Hang on one sec. It's really short. When I was thinking about it, I was like, that just shows like like how memorable it is.
Yeah.
That you imagine it to be a huge long thing.
Yeah.
It's less than 5 minutes.
It's very short. They bring Wesley back to life. They give him a chocolate covered medicine to help.
Carol Kane comes out and then they fight.
Liar!
Liar! It's a witch. So I'm not a witch. I'm your wife.
Have fun storming the castle.
You think it's gonna work?
No. And then
a miracle.
They Humperdinck and Buttercup get married.
Mm-hmm.
Super famous marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Marriage is what brings us together today. And while that's happening, they form a guise with Andre the Giant pretending to be the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
They get in the castle. And I was wrong in the top part. Inigo first does know that the Count is the Six-Fingered Man. He does know that they're out.
Oh, I didn't realize
I don't remember exactly where. I'm a little embarrassed, but he chases after the Six-Fingered Man, gets in a fight with him. Wesley goes to the princess's chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Inigo kills the Six-Fingered Man in sweet justice and revenge. And Wesley plays a little trick on Humperdinck, makes him think that he's not dead, that he's still able to fight him to the pain.
Mm-hmm.
Vomitus mass, as I believe, was one of the things that he calls the king. and then they ride off in peace after jumping out the window, and they share one of the most passionate kisses of all time.
Yep. And Fred Savage wants to see the kiss.
Yeah. And then he wants the book read to him again. So what I wanted to read, some of you may have heard this. I saw this a few years back, but I'll just read this. I'm not sure what I'm citing here. Survivornet.com. Mandy Patinkin brought a lot of light into our lives. Recently, one particular video has gone viral in which he explained how a specific scene in The Princess Bride was a lot more than just a simple fight scene. According to Patinkin, the iconic scene where his character Inigo Montoya battled Count Rugen was actually a tribute to his late father, Lester, who passed away from pancreatic cancer when Patinkin was just 18 years old. When Patinkin recited the iconic line, "I want my father back, you son of a bitch," it meant more than just acting. Patinkin said, "I went outside in this castle and I walked around and I kept talking to my dad. And I said, 'Dad, I'm going to get this guy.' From the minute I read the script, I knew I said, I'm going to do this part because in my mind, if I get the 6-fingered guy, that means I kill the cancer that killed my dad and I'll get to visit my dad," Patinkin said in the TikTok video. If you watch that scene, you can see it. You can that scene's very powerful.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I get like a little teary eyed when I watch that scene.
Yeah.
And, it's like a really special scene to watch him say that.
Yeah.
And I think even as a kid, when you watch that scene, and I didn't know that, his father had passed away from cancer, and, you kind of know that's like the one swear word in the movie, but like your parents let you watch that one. There's something special about that scene.
Yeah,
I think that
totally.
That is the power of like a good performance.
Totally.
Even in a movie like this, when that last scene happens and he gets his revenge, it's pretty powerful. Pretty
Totally. Yeah. It's very, you even from the beginning when he starts, like he's already been stabbed.
Yeah.
And then Christopher Guest is like, "You're still fighting back, aren't you?"
Yeah.
And then it's like he ramps up in power the whole time he goes through.
Yeah.
And it's like he can't be stopped. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really good.
It makes me very happy. I love that scene.
It's really good. And that story behind it's really sweet. We also found out something super interesting in that scene. Count Rungus, I believe. Count Rungan, who is Christopher Guest. First name is Tyrone. In the subtitle, we watched it with subtitles on, and it just said Tyrone Grunts.
I think that we talked a little bit about Christopher Guest and his mockumentaries that he's done throughout the years. I think one of the best things about Christopher Guest and the mockumentaries is the names that he comes up for his characters.
Oh, yeah.
They're absolutely perfect.
Corky St. Clair is waiting for Guffman.
His character's name in Best in Show is Harlan Pepper, which is just fantastic. The guy who puts on the event is Graham Chisholm. It's just
I'm just gonna look up a couple ones.
Just read names from Best in Show, and
in Mighty Win, Harry Shearer is Mark Shub.
Yeah.
Mark Shub, Irving Steinblum, Ma Clapper is one of the characters. Ramblin' Sandy Pitnick, young Chuck Wiseman.
So good. What's
great.
In Best in Show? What is Parker Posey, like her and her.
Oh, her
LL Bean catalog. And
yes,
their dog.
The couple that were sitting that met at Starbucks. They're
sitting across from each other.
They're sitting,
the Busy Bee couple.
Yeah, her name is Meg Swan.
Yeah,
and Michael Hitchcock is Hamilton Swan.
Hamilton and Meg Swan.
And then Catherine O'Hara.
Who's married in that movie to
Eugene Levy. Yeah, her name is Cookie Fleck. And his name is Jerry Fleck.
Cookie and Jerry Fleck. God loves a terrier. Dude, the names of those. There's something about Graham Chisholm that always just stuck with me.
Yeah. God, it's so good.
Yeah. So I want to believe that Christopher Guest, when they're like, his name is Count Rugen, and he was like,
Tyrone.
You mean Tyrone?
Tyrone
Rugen?
Oh, that's so funny. I love that.
That's like a great piece of trivia.
Yeah, totally.
Man.
That's so funny. Yeah. I mean, solid, amazing end of the movie.
Yeah.
It really does feel like at the end when Peter Falk is reading to young Fred Savage, pre-Wonder Years Fred Savage.
Yeah. I wonder if pre-Wizard Fred Savage.
Oh, I don't know. Wizard was... It was late 80s-ish, maybe early 90s. It might be pre-Wizard. We'll fact check
There's
that.
a character in The Wizard, the bad guy. I think his name is like David.
Wait, bad guy, young bad guy, or old bad guy?
The young bad, like the guy who's like, who owns the Power Glove. I think his name is David Brent.
Wait, The Wizard's 89.
And there's a great scene from that movie where he just like, he puts on the Power Glove for the first time. And he goes, I love the Power Glove. And he creases his fingers. He goes, it's so bad.
Was it Jimmy Woods?
No.
Okay, it's somebody else.
It's so funny.
It's so bad.
I love the Power Glove. It's, for those of you who don't remember, the Power Glove was like the first Nintendo haptic controller.
It was a glove.
It was a glove that you could put on. If you like punched, you could like punch and make, but like it was like one of those things that was way like, they don't even have that technology now.
It's like very ahead of its time.
Yeah. And they were like trying to roll that shit out in like 1987.
Yeah.
It's like,
totally.
No, why don't you need to wait till 2030 maybe to like get some of that stuff.
Pretty insane that it worked though, didn't it? I mean, it also had a controller on it so you could like play on your arm.
That was like for super rich kids. I didn't have a Power.
I didn't have one either. I think I had one friend that had it.
Really?
But my friend, I have a friend whose son has done some, what is it called when you do like competitive gaming now? Esports. I have a friend that's done some esports, and they did a Power Glove thing recently at some tournament he went to. I know I'm on my phone, but I'm trying to look up where the Wizard is
in terms of
they're like right beside each other. Okay, so let's see, 86, The Boy Who Could Fly. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh,
jeez, that's
is that Fred Savage?
Yeah,
dude, he just had that. Like he was like pre Macaulay Culkin boy in every movie. Who's the boy in every movie now?
Timothy Chalamet. That's just always my answer. Timothy Chalamet's in everything. Princess Bride 87, The Wizard 89.
Okay.
So pre-Wizard. I don't know who the boy in everything is now.
Timothy Chalamet is a great answer.
Timothy Chalamet is in everything.
Yeah, there's so many of my friends who are like, Timothy Chalamet is so beautiful. And I'm like
guy friends or
girls that like have a huge crush on him. And like, isn't he supposed to be like a little 16-year-old, or am I just wrong? Or he was in that one, like he
was in Call Me by Your Name.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not as weird as I think maybe it is.
No, he's a heartthrob for sure.
Okay. Princess Bride. The question that we've been circling like sharks with a freshly chummed water is this a romantic comedy?
Right.
Would you recommend this as a romantic comedy? If someone's like, I want a good romantic comedy, are you lobbing up Princess Bride as an option for them to watch?
You're asking me. I'm gonna say no.
I agree.
I'm gonna say, do you want to watch a movie that you've probably seen, but is a solid movie, and you're just gonna multiple times in the middle of it say, God, this is such a good movie, and you're gonna feel wholesome, but you're also gonna laugh. You're gonna be like, all these stars are in it.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna recommend that, but I'm not gonna recommend it as a rom-com.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
So.
Not a rom-com. But I'll
turn off the pod.
So, well, thanks to the patrons.
Thanks so much. Thank you
Later,
so much,
taters.
patrons, for subscribing. Check out our YouTube. No,
just kidding.
What if this one is just like 23 minutes?
Be like, hey, that's what you pay for. So.
We fucked up. We just wanted to watch a really fun movie. It's not really a rom-com, so sorry. Yeah. We made an error, but we have a cool soundboard.
Yeah, we do. No, movie that I would say we didn't enjoy as much is My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yeah.
I would say that is a rom-com.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we had some trouble saying if that was a rom-com too. But we were like, it doesn't feel very rom-com because of just like all the trickery and not a lot of rom. But I would say that falls more solidly into the rom-com genre than this movie.
Yeah.
But I would recommend this over that any day.
100%.
I mean, it's a great movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think like, how can we tie Sex and the City into... Okay.
I got a way. So at the end, they ride off on those 4 horses. I'm serious. At the end, after you know, they've killed Tyrone, the king...
Humperdinck got wrapped up.
Yeah.
Which is a great comedic moment when like right after he got wrapped up and Wesley like trips onto the bed. He's like, see, I knew you were bluffing.
Yeah, totally. Also a great comedic moment is when Wesley's still paralyzed and she's kissing him and he's like, gentle. And she's like, at a moment like this, you want to be gentle? And she picks him and he goes, gentle. And she drops him and he hits his head.
Yeah.
And then when she's about to kill herself and he's like, this is as short as a great breast in the world.
Yeah.
It'd be horrible for you to cut up yours.
Yeah.
Or destroy yours or something. Okay. So they ride off on 4 horses.
Yeah.
Who are they as the 4 ladies? We got Inigo Montoya. We got Wesley. We've got Buttercup. And we got Iron the Giant. Who's Carrie? Who's Miranda? Who's Charlotte? Who's Samantha?
Man, that's a good question. My first instinct is that Inigo Montoya is Samantha.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he just out there? Is he just out there slaying?
I think like sword fighting's a bit phallic.
That's true.
And I think like she is like or maybe Inigo Montoya is Miranda.
Ooh.
Because like he is very singular. He's like focused. Very driven by one thing.
That's true. It's Miranda-esque.
Yeah. I think he's all about vengeance and he's just like, I'm gonna get it. And like I'm gonna work until I have it. And you know, that's like her and her career. I think Wesley is Charlotte.
Really?
Because I think Wesley believes in true love and like the power of love and like, you know, like stayed committed to the princess.
Even more than Buttercup.
Buttercup is Carrie.
Buttercup's Carrie 100%.
She accidentally gets married. And she's like a shitty person.
And because of that, a wedding does break up because of her as well.
Yeah, she breaks up weddings.
Yeah. And also it's like all about her. This whole thing was caused about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buttercup.
She like went off riding in the woods by herself because she couldn't like handle hanging in a castle.
Absolutely.
She's like kind of mean. She like negs him a little bit and is a little mean to him in the beginning.
Yeah, totally. She gets rid of the thing that she had, which was Wesley when you know, it could have just been like, she could have totally done the like, farm boy, come over here. But yeah, she's Carrie. It's just, it's all about her. And I don't even know if she knows it, but she kind of knows it. That's a total Carrie move.
Who's the guy who's Miranda goes on a date with the fat guy, Big Bone Tom?
Big Bone Tom. That's who Andre is. He's Big Bone Tom. Yeah. Or is he Aiden? Because he got a giant head.
Ooh, he does have a big head.
He has a very big head. He could be Aiden.
Is there an Aiden? Is there like a Andre the Giant, Samantha tie-in? That's the hardest one.
I mean, well, no, it'd be reverse. I was going to say Samantha, you know, through the water outside her window at the transsexual prostitutes, but he was out the window already with the horses. So that's
here's the tie-in to Samantha and Andre the Giant.
Okay.
Is that Andre the Giant, hold on, I had it. Samantha is often the one who can get him like into events. He's like the PR.
Yeah, totally.
She's like the bouncer of the group. And he is the muscle. And Samantha's the muscle of the group.
She is the muscle of the group. And when he dresses up as the Dread Pirate Roberts and walks in and then sets himself on fire, that's Samantha getting them into the exclusive club.
100%.
Because he knows how.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
He has his name on the list. He'll get the keys to the castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a grip off his arms. Oh, you mean these keys?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
also, I bet because he's like kind of a spectacle. I bet back in those days, not in the story, but just in this, like he's going to some brothel. Yeah. And there's probably like 4 or 5 maidens at the brothel. Yeah. Same as Samantha.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, just going and his off time is like, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Anybody want my peanuts?
Anyone want my penis?
Anybody want my penis?
Anybody want my penis?
Anybody? Anybody want my penis? There's no more joke. We're just saying it over and over.
That's funny.
No more sexting, and I mean it. Anybody want my penis?
That's funny.
Oh gosh.
That's what. Do you have a different take on any of that? Any of those?
No, originally I was going to say Andre the Giant was Charlotte, just because he has kind. You know how Charlotte is kind of like, woo, just gets kind of flustered. Like he has kind of a like, oh, I don't know, everybody.
Yeah.
And that he seemed a little Charlotte to me. And Carrie, completely agree.
It has to be Buttercup.
Yeah, Inigo Montoya does make sense because he makes sense as Miranda because he's been on, like he said, Singular Track. And this is Miranda, but it could also be Charlotte in the first sword fight. Not Charlotte. This is Miranda, but it could also be Samantha. In the first sword fight, he was like, I want to fight with my left hand.
Yeah.
And he like wants to challenge himself.
Right.
And Miranda and Samantha are both badasses, like in terms of just achievement and work and stuff. I mean, they all are, but I think they're the ones who would want to show off the most. But I think Miranda would want to do that for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I fully disagree with it. It's not like a 1-to-1 matchup for any of them. And you're right. Wesley does. I mean, the whole reason. It's almost like Wesley is kind of like Charlotte pursuing her Trey, except it works out.
I actually think that I changed my mind. I think Buttercup, Wesley, and Inigo, I got all wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
Full change.
I think all three of them are Lexi Featherstone.
Well, none of them fell out that window though.
They all do.
Oh, at the end, because they all jump out the window.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
And if they're all Lexi Featherstone, that's great because they all interact with Wallace Shawn, who's also in the movie. We got to put on the Pepe Silva wall.
Yeah. And I think Billy Crystal's Len Schneider.
Yeah.
He's got the same hair.
He's totally Len Schneider.
Or he's old man ass.
Yeah. He's old man ass. Isn't there an old, and you know, the old Southern woman, the old Southern woman that Samantha meets who blows the guy under the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would that be Billy Crystal's wife, Carol Kane? Yeah. She's an old Southern woman. Totally.
We have it all.
Yeah. It's the whole Sex and City universe.
We already talked.
Who's Mr. Big? Humperdinck?
Yeah.
I mean, he would make sense to be Humperdinck, but I feel like Big is cooler than Humperdinck.
I feel like the Maywitch guy is Pork Pie.
Ray King.
Yeah, he's Ray King.
The jazz guy.
Because he's scatting. He's always scatting.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I'm trying to think of anyone else. We've got there's the guy that tries to let him into the club, let him into the castle that's fumbling the keys. I'm trying to think who that guy would be. Is there anyone that gets spanked in this? There's spanking guy from season 1.
Yeah, I mean the problem with doing a movie like Princess Bride, which is generally a kid's movie, it's a kid's family movie.
Yeah,
like
totally.
There's not a ton of layers to peel back and have like deep conversation about. I mean, it is a what you see is what you get kind of movie.
Yeah, and then there are timeless truths in it. It's like a myth.
Yeah, I will say,
like a myth or a fairy tale.
My favorite character trait in storytelling is present in this movie. And I love it in movies. I love it in TV shows. I love it in books. And that is, it's not fully explored in this movie, but I love megalomania. I love someone who is driven by a single purpose, oftentimes to their detriment. I just find that so incredibly fascinating. It's why my favorite book is Moby Dick. I love the Heathcliff character. I love Frankenstein. I just love this idea of the desire and pursuit of one thing, the damage that can cause. You know, in this one, Inigo Montoya is certainly motivated by one thing and one thing only. And I think it would be interesting if this were like more of a nuanced adult story to see the damage that has on those around him. I think that's like a really interesting exploration in storytelling.
Because it's never just one-sided. Like even if you're going for something that is justified.
Well, I mean, I think in the stories that I enjoy where it explores megalomania is like there's consequences to your singular focus.
Right.
Like if you put light through a prism, it's gonna burn, it's gonna channel it and focus it so hard that it's gonna burn whatever it touches. And like that concept is really interesting to me. Maybe because I struggle with that at times. I'm like a super all or nothing person. So when I see that play out in stories, I find it like really compelling. And so this is like a nice kid's version. And Tyrone even says like, you're telling me you've devoted your entire life to vengeance and now you're going to die. That's just so marvelous. So like the pursuit of that singular greatness, like the movie Whiplash. I just love that movie.
Oh yeah.
That concept is something that I really enjoy.
What about Social Network?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
About someone that's just all in to create this thing. That's like megalomania. And that's someone obsessed in knowing they're right or thinking they're right.
I think the Social Network is more of like a, when I think of like megalomania, it's like there is from an observer's point of view, there's like a doubt of what they're doing. Is it right or wrong? I feel like the Social Network is more of like a, Ayn Rand character where it's just like this person loves themselves so much. And there's nothing good from the outside of what they're doing, but they need it because they're, I don't know. I'm kind of blowing smoke on my ass. Trying to think about what I'm saying, but
yeah,
the Social Network more reminds me of like, like an Ayn Rand, selfishness type person rather than like someone that's like focused, someone who's motivated about vengeance and like, they'll sink the ship if it means vengeance.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah, totally. That's funny because you are very focused like that. I mean, tomorrow, can we say what happens tomorrow?
What happens tomorrow? Oh yeah.
365.
Yeah. I did the same workout every single day for 365 days.
Yep.
Which is great.
And you started our workout text thread.
We have a workout text
which
thread.
You were the only one that has kept up with the workout we all started with. Oh, when you were looking that way, smiling, I was like, "Oh no, did Kevin."
I'm just smiling at how great of a job I'm doing on the workout text.
You did. I mean, like now when I do other workouts, I'll text them. Not only me, everyone texts the workout thread.
You got to keep it going.
Yeah, you do start that stuff.
But I do that stuff because if I don't, I fall off, and I think that's true with Inigo Montoya too. Like if he's not pursuing vengeance, he's like drunk somewhere. And like,
well, doesn't he say at the end, like, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do now? And I think about that all the time too. It's like when I check something off my list, I tend to set goals that are, very difficult to achieve. And I like that, but then like there is a little bit of a worry of what will happen when I accomplish that goal.
Do you think you'll become the Dread Pirate Robert then? That's what they say to Inigo Montoya. He should take up piracy.
I feel like I could maybe get into piracy.
I feel like you could get into piracy and
I'm probably too tall.
I don't know if pirates are short or not.
I feel like piracy probably you have to fit in
and a lot of ships
in like a cockpit or like, it's probably similar to like being an astronaut.
Yeah. Or just living on a boat. Have you been in a submarine before?
No.
It's not spacious.
Yeah. And I hit my head walking through most doorways.
Yeah. So you might be too big for that. But I think that like you could be a pirate and then be like, in order to be a good pirate, I have to do these things that are morally compromising, but I am pursuing the goal of being a good pirate.
Yeah. It's like being a defense attorney.
Yeah, totally. You're like, now I got to defend this terrible person.
It's my job. I took an oath and I'm doing my job. No salt to any defense attorneys out there.
I mean, I think you're describing what is the conundrum of that.
Yeah.
You know, like that's got to be really freaking tough.
Yeah. So I think that's like a really interesting thing about Inigo Montoya's character. I think Fezzik doesn't really have like a ton to explore. I think like Buttercup's like an interesting like pickle, you know, like she loves someone, but she has to do something that she doesn't want for love. And I think that is something that
marry someone else.
I mean, I think marrying someone else for love is like a bit of an extreme example, but I think like there's real life examples that you could use to talk to kids or friends about like, I love this person, so I'm moving like to a different city with them.
Oh yeah.
Because they got a job or they got into this school. Right. And so like,
I don't necessarily like, this is not the way that I necessarily it's maybe harsh to be like, I wouldn't choose this, but it is just kind of like, I'm doing this because of this person and not necessarily because, not because this is how it wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
So there's like some interesting tidbits that I think you can talk about from that movie with your kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on a podcast.
To your
lovable patrons.
To your patrons who you think are the best.
We do think you're the best.
We really do think you're the best. Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I don't know. I don't have the megalomania thing. I have a lot of things. And I think that I have.
So like what character in the show is the most interesting to you?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean,
or like whose motivation is the most compelling, I guess, because they're all motivated by different things.
Right.
I guess Humperdinck and Buttercup are motivated by, you know,
political power in a monarchy.
Love. Not sure what Fezzik's motivation is really.
Fezzik, I think
just to do the right thing.
Yeah, do the right thing. And Fezzik is also like a hired hand.
Yeah.
But I think that he has a heart to do the right thing.
He just wants to just
step up and do the right thing. Yeah.
Inigo wants revenge. Tyrone just wants to, he sees chaos as a ladder, wants to just burn it down.
Yeah, totally.
Humperdinck wants political power.
Billy Crystal wants money.
Billy Crystal just wants money.
He wants money. And he's like, oh, I used to work for so much more. Miracle Max. Yeah. I mean, I would think, I think there's two parts of it. Like I think, Wesley, I would want that because I feel like he is driven by something to go get his love, but also all the things that have gone into his life. Like he was captured. They thought he died. He didn't die. And then he became the masked man. Do we know how he became the masked man?
Yeah. He begged for, his life because of Buttercup. And that inspired the Dread Pirate Roberts. And then eventually the Dread Pirate said, every single day I'm going to kill you. But he didn't. And they eventually became friends. And he said, you know, I'm not the real Dread Pirate Roberts.
Right.
My name's Joe.
Right.
And the person before me wasn't the Dread Pirate Roberts.
It just keeps getting passed down.
Yeah, what's important is the name. And so he like retired and passed it to Wesley.
Gotcha. I think that there's something cool about Wesley being driven by his heart, but along the way,
listen to your heart,
Wesley,
when he's calling to you.
Listen to your heart, Wesley. That's like always the lamest one on the soundboard. You want it to be good and it's not. But then he picks up all these skills. He becomes a great swordsman.
Yeah.
I
love stacking attributes.
Yeah, it's great. You know, he's just got a lot going on. And then I also feel like I don't like this, but I feel like I have a little bit of Fezzik in that, like Fezzik just, you know, he just likes to be around people. He likes to be around people. He wants to do the right thing. I'm definitely not as tall as him, but I don't know if any of us are. But I think Fezzik is just like, you can even tell when they're with Wallace Shawn. Fezzik is like, oh, I don't want to do this bad thing.
And he just wants the rhymes.
Yeah, he just wants to rhyme. He wants to hang and have some fun.
He's like Eminem.
Some people. Yeah, he's a lot like Eminem. He just
wants the rap battle.
Yeah, that's all he wants.
Fezzik would crush it in a rap battle.
Oh, it'd be amazing. He would have his own flow and everything.
How funny would that be if you memorized all the rhymes that he does in this movie, and then you went to a real rap battle,
and you put them to the tune of "Lose Yourself"?
It's like, no more rhyming. I mean it. Anybody want a peanut?
I wonder if you could do that and make it be cool,
dude. I feel like you could do a stand-up bit where you pull up someone from the audience and it's like, anyone want a rap battle, and then they go first, and then you do all the rhymes from Princess Bride.
Totally, you just do that,
and then ask them if they know teenagers.
You guys know teens?
Yeah.
That was last part. I know. But I've wanted to talk about it the whole time because this is a good movie for it too.
It's just a great question.
Kids movie. Do you know a teen?
Do you know any teenagers? Yeah. No, this was, I'm really glad that we did this movie. I'm really glad we did this too. Really fun to check it out. And we hope you liked it. We know this is a little bit different. We hope you have some ideas as to who the characters are in Sex and the City. But yeah. Movie Club, super fun. We're excited to do more movies. We're doing 10 Things I Hate About You. Mm-hmm. We started a bunch. 10
Things I Hate About You, Crazy Stupid Love. Yeah. We are doing Princess Bride. That's this. We're doing let me look at the sheet. We're also doing some Sex and the City rewatches. We still have to finish Pretty Woman. Right?
No, we finished Pretty Woman.
Oh, we finished Pretty Woman.
Right?
Did we? I mean, it's like there's been
we've been like watching a bunch.
We're watching tons of movies. You're really seeing behind the curtain. We did Best Friend's Wedding already.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being a patron. We're gonna keep it coming.
Yeah. Oh, we also want to shout out a brand new patron that we got during this watch, Nicole Roy.
Nicole.
Thank you for being on the patron train.
That also could be Wah if you know Patrick Wah.
Patrick Wah. It's pronounced Wah, but it's spelled R-O-Y.
He was a hockey goalie.
Oh, could be
Nicole Roy, Nicole Wah.
Nicole Wah. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone else out there who's a patron. We just named off all those movies, and we've said other ones we're going to watch. But send us any new movies. Comment on this post. And tell us new movies. Maybe we'll put a poll up on the Patreon to say like, hey, what movies are right in your own?
Yeah. Let us know what you want us to do. We're here to serve you.
Yeah. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, taters. Trying to think of something from the movie.
No, that's it. Anyone want a peanut?
Anybody want a peanut?
Love you.
Love you later, taters.
The Bradshaw Boys stars Cory Cavin, Kevin James Doyle, and Jon Sieber. The show is produced by me, Jeremy Balon, and narrated by Katie Sieber. This podcast is part of the Seltzer Kings Network. Check out all their great podcasts at seltzerkings.com. You can find the boys on their socials at The Bradshaw Boys or on their website at thebradshawboys.com. And as always, if you see them in the street, tip your glass. Thanks for listening.